After the smashing success of the first season of The White Lotus, we were finally blessed with the fact that a second season was on its way. Now that the second season's first episode has come out, in this video, we'll talk about burning questions we have after the Season 2 premiere and where we've seen the cast members before. Let's get started. First up, do the opening credits hint at something more sinister? After last season's deadly romp in Hawaii, the second season picks up in Sicily, and, as always, a worry-free stay at the gorgeous White Lotus is anything but. There's plenty of mystery, and death seem to be lingering in the air. After the premiere of the second season's first episode, we have many questions that need to be answered. Ace composer Cristobal Tapia de Veer made a hauntingly beautiful tropical theme song for Season 1 that played over a wallpaper scene in the resort, which was marked with many signs of decay: storm clouds, dead fish, rotting fruit, and predators. This time, we see and hear a much more amped-up version of the same music that resonates over a series of Italian frescoes. An older man is seen courting a potential lover, perhaps foreshadowing some scenes where Bert, played by F. Murray Abraham, hits on a series of much younger women in the premiere. Up next, what about the rest of the imagery? Next, we also see two birds fighting mid-air, while Aubrey Plaza's name appears simultaneously on the screen. Could this hint at a possible strife between her character Harper and her travel companions? And to imagine that this is all just the beginning. There's also a large villa perched on top of a cliff, literally on fire, and one that looks creepily similar to the White Lotus. A woman wielding a knife, two men involved with each other on the beach, and a man with a stab wound falling down the stairs are also seen. Heavy on the metaphors, right? While we know that someone dies at the resort, do these opening credits give us a clue about who won't make it alive out of beautiful Sicily? Moving on to who could be in the body bag. Like Season 1, Season 2 of The White Lotus also opens up with a dead body, but this time in Sicily, it's Daphne, played by Megan Fahey, who discovers a corpse in the ocean after she chooses to go for a nice little dip. Unfortunate, right? While we only see a single body bag being carried out, we discover several guests have died. So, how many people died and what exactly killed them? More importantly, who are they? You might be able to tell we have no patience to wait out the entire season for these answers, and we need to know now. Once we flash back to a scene earlier in the week, did Daphne unknowingly give us a sneak peek into what's coming? While talking to her husband Cameron and travel companions Harper and Ethan by the pool, Daphne claims she loves watching Dateline. She goes on to say, husbands murdering their wives. This happens a lot on vacation, and if this isn't a preview of what's to come, we might be slightly disappointed with all the investigative work we've put in. Whether it's a potential red herring remains to be seen, and we guess we'll just have to exercise some of that patience we seem to be severely missing. Let's talk about why would Cameron and Daphne invite Harper and Ethan to Sicily. Ethan has been friends with Cameron since college and also happens to have sold his company for a ton of money. Considering this fact, Harper is worried that Cameron and Daphne may have only invited them so they could either ask them for money directly or convince them to join in on an investment. That does sound tricky. Now that they're rich, why would Cameron and Daphne invite them if they weren't going to ask for money? Because if we look at the facts, other than being super rich and sharing a mutual love for Ted Lasso, who doesn't love that guy, the two couples don't have much in common. But even that doesn't diminish the very prevalent sexual tension that seems to be in the air surrounding these four individuals. You could probably slice through it with a knife. Coming up, the sexual energy between the couples. When their partners return to the hotel, there are some very obvious making eyes at each other kind of actions between Ethan and Daphne, which suggests that they may have their own history, which we've yet to find out. When Cameron is in the hotel room, he strips down completely to change into a swimsuit, and Harper doesn't even look away. Rude. There's also some weird tension when Daphne is showering Harper with compliments and praise, claiming how good she must be at her job. At the same time, Cameron says how handsome Ethan is and says, "I'd do you." Okay. It's quite easy to imagine that any two out of the four could end up together with the dynamic going on right now. The question we have is how many pairs will we end up seeing before the vacation at the White Lotus is over? Following up with the biggest premiere surprise. One of the best things to come out of the premiere was the fantastic audio-only cameo by the magnificent Laura Dern. That left us with one of the most important questions. Will we get more of Laura Dern? After Dom arrives at the resort with his dad, Bert, and son, Albie, he goes to his room to make a phone call. Over the excruciating 2-minute conversation, we're introduced to Dern's Abby, whom we can assume is either Dom's soon-to-be or current ex-wife. During this conversation, Abby curses Dom and tells him off for keeping secrets between them, even calling out his behavior for the last 10 years, labeling him a bad father. She ends the call by calling him an asshole and claims she never wants to hear from him again. Yikes. So what exactly did Dom do? We're dying to know. Will we see more of Abby, or will she reveal more of what happened between them herself? While at the moment, it looks like Dern's audio cameo may be only a one-time thing, it does feel unlikely that the finer details of their relationship will come from Dom himself. So where does that leave us? Can we possibly get more phone calls involving Abby, or will Albie be able to shine some light on the dysfunctional family family dynamics. Moving on to the season's new cast. The new season has introduced a new cast to play the next bunch of holidaymakers visiting the White Lotus in Sicily. This time, with a new mystery and tragedy to discover, the quirky characters make it all the more fun to watch. Megan Fahey plays the character of Daphne Sullivan and is best known for her role in the bold type as the bubbly fashion stylist Sutton Brady. Before the female-centric show, she starred in several TV series like Chicago Fire and Blue Bloods and was even featured as an extra in the classic OG Gossip Girl. Aubrey Plaza also joins this season as Harper Spiller and is previously known for her iconic performance in Parks and Recreation. She also made her name in films like Ingrid Goes West and Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. Let's take a look at Cameron and Dominic DeGrasso. Theo James's claim to fame came when he was cast as Four in Divergent alongside Shailene Woodley. Following this, he went on to star in the rest of the trilogy series that was adapted into films. This British actor has also been featured in several popular UK TV shows like Sanditon and was also a part of the recent TV adaptation of The Time Traveler's Wife. On the other hand, Michael Imperioli is best known for his role as Cousin Chris in the iconic show The Sopranos. Since then, he's been a part of several major films, which include Bad Boys and Jungle Fever. Finally, let's take a look at Jennifer Coolidge. Jennifer Coolidge seriously needs no introduction. This legendary icon cemented herself in Hollywood history the minute she stepped into the role of Stifler's mom in American Pie. She also starred alongside Reese Witherspoon in two Legally Blonde films as Paulette Bonafonte, the wonderful confidant and manicurist, and also played stepmom to Hilary Duff in one of our favorite teen movies ever, A Cinderella Story. She also gave quite a performance in Two Broke Girls, and honestly, we could go on and on about Jennifer's acting skills, but these alone should be enough to tell you she was born to be a star. We feel like they made some solid choices for the cast this season. That's a wrap for this video. Do you have any thoughts about the Season 2 premiere of The White Lotus? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.